Okay, now we're going to continue with a review for the final exam. Question 34. They want you to construct a 90% confidence interval for the population mean mu. Assume the population has a normal distribution. A sample of 15, so n equals 15. Randomly selected student has a grade point average of 2.86. So the sample has this grade point average of 2.86, and the standard deviation for the sample is 0.78. So you're looking for keyword, you're looking for the confidence interval. So I'm going to show you how to get this in your calculator. So you're going to go to Stat, over to Test, and this is going to be a T interval because you're provided with a sample standard deviation. So instead of the 7, you're going to use option 8. And we're dealing with stats, that's what you are provided. So the X bar is the GPA 2.86. The sample standard deviation as given is 0.78. The sample size is 15. The confidence level is 90%, so that translates to 0.90. And then calculate. And if you notice in the choices, everything has 2 decimal places. So your solution is right here, 2.51, because if 0 is followed by a 5. So it's 2.51 and 3.21. 2.51. 3.21, so that's the final answer for letter C. Number 35. Given that the null hypothesis, and this is for proportion, but we can do it the same way. The null hypothesis, P is greater than or equal to 80%. That's the null hypothesis. The alternative, P is less than 80%. Determine whether the hypothesis test is a left tail, right tail, or 2 tails. So to determine the type of tail or the type of test that you're using, you always will look at the alternative hypothesis. If it is less than, it's going to be a left tail test. So that is letter C. On the next one, 36. The same, determine the type of test that you will be performing. So you only look at the alternative hypothesis. It is greater than, so therefore it's going to be a right tail test. 37. The owner of a professional basketball team claims that the mean attendance at games is over 18,000, and therefore the team needs a new arena. Determine whether the hypothesis test for this claim is left tail, right tail, or 2 tails. So first we set up the claim. It says that the mean attendance at games is over. So they're claiming that the mean attendance is over. So that means more than 18,000. Therefore, you have to decide whether the claim is assigned to the null or the alternative. It doesn't have an equal bar, so therefore it goes to the alternative hypothesis. And the null hypothesis will be the opposite of greater is less with an equal bar. So here, to determine the type of test, this is greater than, therefore it's a right tail test. That is question 37. It's a right tail test. So number 38. The p-value for the hypothesis test is given to you, is 0.035. And then the alpha, or the level of significance, is 0.01. So now you're going to compare the p with the alpha. Remember that I recommended that you match the number of decimal places. This one has 3 decimal places, add another 0. So 0 and 0, that's the same, but then this 3 is more than the 1. So therefore 0.035 is larger than 0.0110. So it is greater than, so if the p is greater than the alpha, you're going to fail to reject the null. fail to reject the null. So that is part A. Number 39, they're giving you the p-value, and you're going to compare with the alpha of 0.01. Again, match the amount of decimal places. This digit is the same. 0 is less than a 1. Therefore, 0.006 is less than 0.010. So if the p is less than the alpha, you're going to reject the null. So this one will be reject the null hypothesis. Number 40, the p-value for the hypothesis test with the standardized test Z. Decide whether the null hypothesis, whether to reject the null for the level of significance alpha. So what I recommend, so this is a right tail test. So in order to, they say that it's a right tail test. So what that does is that it is going to be over the area to the right. So I have to find the area by using the z-score of 0.52. So you're going to go to the z-score table, and you're going to be looking for 0.5 and 0.02. And this will be the area to the left. So to find this area to the right is 1 minus the answer from the table. So you're going to go to the Z table, Z positive, and you're going to look for 0.52. So the Z table 0.52 is 0.6985. 0.6985. So 1 minus 0.6985, and that will give you the area to the left. So 1 minus 0.6985, that is 0.3015. So 0.3015, so therefore your p-value is equal to 0.3015, and your alpha is equal to 0.05. So match the number of decimal places, 0.015 compared to the left of 0.055, 0.0500. So 3 is more than this 0 here. So therefore the p-value is greater. Since the p-value is greater, you're going to fail to reject. So this is going to be part A. Number 41. Test the claim about the population mean. So assume the population is normally distributed. They give you the population mean, the alpha, the population standard deviation. So what that means is that this is going to be a z-test. So we need to find the p-value. So we're going to go to the calculator to find the p-value. So you're going to go to stat, test, and we're doing the first one, a z-test, hypothesis test, not an interval. So choose the stats. The population mean is 1580 in this exercise. The population standard deviation is 82. The X bar is 1550. The sample size is 35. And since the claim has an equal bar, so that means that the null hypothesis will take the claim, and the alternative hypothesis will be the opposite of equal, is not equal. So therefore you have to choose here. If it is not selected, they don't need not equal to option. Make sure that it is highlighted, and then you choose calculate. So the p-value is 0.0304. If you look at the table here, you get the p-value 0.0304. So the p-value equals 0.0304, 0.0304, compare with the alpha, that is 0.01. So compare with 0.0100. So we're comparing 304 with a 100, so this is greater. So something that is an error here, it is failed to reject, but there is not. So there should be in here, there is not enough evidence at the 1% level of significance. So the not is missing on question 41. So the answer will be letter C. And we're going to stop here and we're going to finish the rest of the review in our next video.